Hey YouTube world, it's that dude named Dave and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started here, we got to do the price of admission. I don't charge much. Like, subscribe, bell notification below. I see you talk about how he's not nice to women, how he talks in bad tones, and he doesn't care about women. But this is a video that I want to showcase that showcases real compassion for his detractors. So let's get to the video. We're gonna let Kevin cook and we're gonna try to make this make sense.
I'll be 32 on the 28th.
Yeah, get out of the comment section. Get out of the comments. Y'all be 20.
No, it's fine. It's just funny to me. Yep. But I mean, I'm interested, but that's cool. That's fine. Now I'll be 32 on the 28th of this month.
Okay. Were you married to their father? Is it you have two kids by the same man?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Were you married?
I married him when I was like 22. We were married like 10 years, but he was murdered 2 years ago. But we had split up right before he was murdered. So living that lifestyle. So that's why we separated, because I had to do what was best for me and my kids. And I'm like, that's not a safe life, you know?
What street lifestyle?
Right.
Were you in it too? Don't knock on yourself. All right.
Oh no, I wasn't. The tattoos might throw you off, but I'm really not.
I don't know. I ask questions. I don't make a judgment. But you have you were married for 10 years. About then, before he got murdered. Sorry to hear that. Was he always in that life?
Pretty much. I would say pretty much. He did. My story should be a movie, like a Tyler Perry movie. He did 9 years. So he was in prison from age like 17 to 27, and then, but I known him since 9 years old, and then we ended up me not having a very supportive family and very intact family. Like, I was out there young and not knowing what I'm doing. So that's how I end up getting involved with him and end up getting married.
But
let me pause here, and that's a good point here, because a lot of times we get on women about choosing the wrong men, and obviously she chose the wrong guy here, her husband, who unfortunately was murdered, you know, and he's the father of the two kids that she's raising on her own now at 32 years old. But here's another thing that we have to look at. She's openly admitted that, you know, she didn't have the proper lifestyle growing up, so she didn't have that guidance, and so not having that as a young girl, she was blinded and didn't allow her to choose properly. And so we see what happened now that she's a single mom now. So a lot of times we blame women for choosing the wrong guys, but there are certain scenarios we have to look at the genesis and how they actually got there here. So she's being open and honest and talking to Kevin here. So let's get back to the video and let's get a bit more information.
But hold on. You knew he was in the street life.
The thing is, I didn't know. Like when I was dating him, when he was incarcerated.
When you were dating,
I'm leaving.
You found out hold on. You knew he was in the street life before you got pregnant.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yes, you're right. Yep.
Okay, I'm pausing here. I gave her a little bit of an out, but here's the thing though. When you're old enough and you know that your guy is doing wrong, ladies, unprotected sex, or here's the thing here, you married the guy now. So now that you know that he's no good now the onus is on you because you're an adult. It's one thing for you to grow, you're young and you're choosing wrong guys. Now as you're an adult, you have to use your adult actions and use more wisdom than was actually going on here. So that's why Kevin was going there. I wanted to point that out. Let's get back to the video now.
All right, then that's all I'm concerned.
And I ended up,
because I don't know if there's a delay with the Bluetooth or not, so you might want to take that off.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay.
Because you're how old?
I'll be 32 in 2 weeks.
32, and your ex is dead, and you have 2 kids.
I have 2 kids, yes.
And I'm gonna tell you, you said you spent this Valentine's Day by yourself, and you didn't want to. And my thing is, I say this on my YouTube show: the world does not owe you or me understanding. They don't care. The world doesn't care.
Right.
And if you're out here and you want to have more kids?
No, not I don't. Unless I'm open to it, but I really don't. It's a lot of it's hard work, you know. But if I find a man that you described that wants to take care of the home, and I'd be basically his support system and do my house duties, housewife. Like I wouldn't mind having another kid under those circumstances.
You hear that?
Okay. Were you raised to be a housewife?
Before she answers that, you hear that? That is the way it's supposed to be in every dynamic. See, now that she knows how hard it was to raise these two kids with the wrong guy, now that he's no longer in the picture because he's no longer with us, and then she said if the right guy, that she would do it again, but not now. So you see how wisdom and age allows us to see things. She did things backwards. Unfortunately, she knows the wrong way of having kids, so she was saying that I would have it for the right way. So we need women to understand this from the jump. So I want to point that out here. Let's get back to the video now.
I wasn't, but growing up, I pretty much was been on my own since 16. My mom, my mom, she was on and off drugs. She passed away in 2010.
Dang.
Right before she passed away, she was clean the longest. It was 5 years. Nobody thought she would ever do drugs again. I just had graduated high school, and then when she relapsed, I had to I didn't have to, but I did.
What was her drug of choice?
Say that again?
What was her drug of choice?
I don't even know. That's what's crazy. It's a lot of stuff I don't know. I know.
Was she an IV drug user? Was she an IV drug user? Okay, you need to check your speakers.
No, she used pipe. I know. I seen her do that one time. That was the last time she relapsed when she did that. And then when I got my first credit card, I had to move me.
Okay,
and my
so
little
let me
brother
slow down, ma'am.
Sorry.
Check your Instagram and make sure, because it seems like you're having a problem hearing me. There must be a delay or something.
I can hear you. You can
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, I can. Okay. So, have you ever sat down with a counselor or a therapist?
No, I have not.
You need to.
And then, I agree. And
Like
I actually, yeah.
It's not an insult. It's not an insult, man, because even right here, it's you have a lot you want to get out.
Right.
You're 32 years old with 2 kids, and your mother's passed, your ex has passed, and as tragic as that is, you're still here. And you're going to have to figure out how you're going to get from 32 to the grave and have a life worth living and thriving.
Let me pause here. And I want to point this to anybody who's watching my videos. You may not have as much trauma that she's going through here. So I want to put this onus to my tribe here, that here's a woman who's 32 years old. She's a single mother now with 2 kids. Her ex has been murdered. She's talking about her mother being on drugs basically her entire life, relapse, and then the fact that she passed away the last time she saw her relapse right when she graduated high school. She has litany trauma. Do you even have a half of that? If you even have half of that kind of trauma, you need to go ahead and find a doctor to talk these issues out. Whether it's a doctor that talk these issues out or a doctor that can actually prescribe medication if you're dealing with even harder issues. So I stopped it here to state that he said she needs therapy. She needs professional help. Are you along the same lines as well? Because if you are, you need to call as well. I want to stop in the middle of the video to point that out. Now let's get back to the video.
You can't undo what you've already had done up to this point. Plus, you have a boy and a girl who are relying on you. So you need to be able to sit down with somebody to get all this stuff out of your mind, process it, make peace with it, and move forward. If you ever want to have anything with a man, family, or anything else like that down in the future, because the world doesn't owe you or me understanding. That's all I'm saying. So,
I had a question.
And without doing that, jumping into a relationship without getting your mind right is just a placebo. Sex ain't gonna make it go away. Money ain't gonna make it go away. There ain't enough happiness to fill the holes.
Yeah, and what you're saying, I still agree with you saying I need a therapist. But after because my grandma, she's the one who really raised me, and she instilled, and my mom too, I don't know if it's okay to be spiritual here. Like I'm believing God, Jesus Christ, and I got close. I had built a relationship with him, and like even though I went through all that, like I'm not using that as like a pity, anything,
with
having a pity
Christ?
party, like
You built a relationship with Christ? Okay.
yeah.
Let me pause here. You see that? We're getting into the Bible, church, God, Christ situation here. Some people may be mad at me on this here. I'm just going to be honest. Christ is not going to help you right now. Okay. I want to use the verse that I stated in earlier videos that Bible people, Christians need to use. Faith without works is dead. That applies to all walks of life in any scenario. You can have all the faith in the world, but if you're not putting in the work, it means nothing. So she can say that she loved Jesus and, her grandmother instilled things in Christ, things of that nature, but it means nothing until you physically do the work and get the tools to make yourself better. Reading the Bible is not enough. Back to the video.
So I actually, I had a lot of losses, even more than that, but
Oh,
it
Lord.
took
More loss?
It took when my cousin, she was only 29. She was a beautiful soul. Like she sent everybody scriptures in the morning. And when she passed away, she had got something removed from her armpit, took her medicine and didn't wake up. And when she died, that's when I prayed to God that he let me know.
Man, I was baptized at 5 years old. I was baptized at 5, I believe. But there's a spiritual component of life and there's a practical component of life. This part I'm talking about has nothing to do with the spiritual component. There's some practical things going on mentally because you've had a tremendous amount of death and loss.
Yes.
That is hard to process. And especially without a familial support system. Your faith is fine, but we are on this planet and we are fallen. So the best thing to do would be able to go sit down and talk to somebody to help you process all of this so you can live a fulfilled life.
These are good points here for everybody, not
like,
just her.
Like, how you say, like, women, like, even I was watching the other lady, and, like, they have that. Like, they have a man who wants to take care of the household, then they just be, like, on their high horse, or they have a different mentality, the generational curse. I believe the way everybody's beliefs are, like, it's the opposite of what it's supposed to be. So I've dated like 2 older guys, and I just got out of a relationship with an older guy. He was about to be 40, and it's, like, amazing. Like their mindset is just like crazy, like he was very manipulative and like emotionally and verbally abusive. And it's like, I know how to, because I've been so independent, like I know I'm like, I got the disease to please. So it's like, I know how to cater to my partner, and do what I need to do on my end, but I've never had anybody like willy-nilly like take care of me,
Let me pause here. This is really sad here because we're seeing her break down and she talked about meeting older guys, but we can tell that just from her ex and then these 2 older guys that she does not know how to vet and choose a man. This is what happens when there's not a man in the household. She dealt with drug abuse with her mom, so you know that the man was not there and her mom was, she even admitted her mom was not there. So not even having the father in the house, her mother was not even in the house really. She never had someone to raise her. Talking about she's independent. And so seeing this scenario, she does not know what true love looks like. She does not know how to look for a man. And this is sad here. And this is why he's recommending her see professional help. So let's continue here.
But I would be open to it. It's like, I think you said the percentage is like 80% of the like successful men or the men, and that they're singles. Like, are these men, are they gonna stay single? Are they even looking to wife somebody, And it's like,
yeah, most of them do. You've been told that men don't want to get married. That's not true. But let me back up.
Okay.
In your state where you're broken, you're going to it's easier to attract predators.
You hear that?
That's what I'm saying. You need therapy because whatever your desire to please, that may be there, but you're going to have an unhealthy expression of it because you attract predators. Even in the short period of time that we've been together, you've said a lot of things that, given to the wrong person with bad intent, they could use it against you to get closer to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me. But what I'm saying is, there's a way to be open and to tell people who you are without becoming vulnerable to them. And the way you don't become vulnerable to them is understand yourself. There's no reason to stop the tears and wiping them back and everything. You're supposed to cry. We tell people that you can't cry, you got to stay strong, and that's bullshit. But there's a way that you need to do it for you to where you understand that I've been through a lot. Life has been hard. It's had its challenges. Some of it's unfair. But if you believe, there's stories throughout the Bible to reaffirm your faith, but you still have to go down your path. Your path is your path. And I know a lot of times believers don't want to go into we want to just pray and go into the closet, and it's not for us to wrestle with God. It's for us to submit to the things that we have out here already. So even if you can't afford it, there are people who will sit back and give you most consultations with life coaches, but I actually would recommend an actual psychiatrist, somebody who can diagnose depression, bipolar disorder. Difference is somebody who can actually prescribe medication, even short term, like Prozac, Zoloft, antidepressants, because these things can tend to help even 30, 60, 90 days just to get you kind of level to where you can kind of see clear for the first time. Don't close off any doors because that you don't know or the stigma of it. And the purpose is to just understand who you are, where you are. It's not to stay involved with a therapist or a counselor for 20 or 30 years. It's just to get you on the path to where you can actually go forward into life and not be so heavy or so burdened all the time. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
And they offer, and often you just get online and just search psychiatrists or life coaches or psychiatrists or things like that in your zip code. Just go online and you should see a lot of different ones come up. And most therapists offer free initial consultation.
Yes.
And you get and go sit down with somebody and talk to them, or online, however they do it nowadays. And if you feel that person's comfortable, see them. If not, try somebody else. And folks are willing to make payment plans and work with folks, whether or not your insurance pays for it or not. But this is something that I really think you need to do for yourself and for your kids, so you can be the best mother you can be for them because they're relying on you.
On that note, I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to put the link in the description below. I let him cook. I didn't jump in at that last part there. He had a lot of great information. Reason why I wanted to bring this to the tribe today. You saw her here, and I feel for her here. We talk about modern women, we talk about men not wanting to get married, but there are certain outliers. There's circumstances that we see here that it was totally out of her control. I can, as you said earlier, they know she's an adult, and you recognize that she got to be responsible for her actions, and she is. But there are certain situations where that our youth dictates the way we grow up here, and sometimes we make bad mistakes as kids that ruins our entire life. But here's the thing though, life is not over. Just because you made bad decisions or you didn't make the correct decisions when you were younger, you can correct your life. You can do things better for the future, not just for yourself, but also for her kids, because she has 2 young kids to look after. So what did he state here? He wasn't yelling at her. He didn't say all women are bad. He didn't say women are the devil or Jezebel. There are some hard Jezebels out there. We have some people in my comments, and we get it. Shout out to Jada. But did he do all these things? He showed compassion. He showed remorse. He talked to her in a manner that she was able to, when she broke down and cried, and she wiped those tears away, she was able to listen. She took in what he was saying. He basically said, look, You need a doctor that can diagnose all these things here. And we shouldn't be scared of the stigmas when people look at these scenarios here when we look for a doctor. So for people on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, I want everybody to see, is Kevin wrong or off base here? Did he give good information? Is this information that you would give to somebody else? Because I want to point out here that he's not a doctor. He never claimed to be a doctor. But as adults, and when we're living this thing of life, we can recognize that we can make suggestions to get people on the right path so that they can get themselves to do what's needed and that they can be productive members of society here. This is not a man who was saying that all women are horrible. This was a man recognizing that she needed help and that he was able to provide help here. And on top of that too, I cut the video short, but what he said here, and I want you guys to check out the link later, at the very, very tail end of the video, he said, my Instagram, I want you to contact me just to confirm that you made an appointment. I want to know that you actually gone ahead and scheduled the doctor. He wanted to know an update. So like, comment, subscribe, click on the bell notification below. Is Kevin off base here in this assessment here? And I off base and listen to what he's saying here. And this woman here, how did you feel about her bringing this to the table? It's a lot to unpack here. Not everything is gonna be funny. Not every situation is gonna be loud and rambunctious here. This is real life, people. So until next time, I'm that dude named Dave. I'll see you guys later, YouTube world.